Welcome to the Sheff United Way. Nick, alongside myself, Hal. We have, I'm delighted to say, the owner of Sheffield United Football Club joining us now, His Royal Highness Prince Abdullah. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. How are you?
Very good, very good. I'm really happy to join you. I watch your podcast whenever I can, so I'm happy to be with you.
That's great. We didn't even need to tell him to say that, Hal, did we? Brilliant. So how successful do you feel our transfer window has been?
You know what? I'll be honest with you today with every answer. And if I can tell the truth, I will not say anything that I don't believe. I think we'll only know when we see the players in the playing. I don't think it's early to tell now. If we have to go with our record in loans other than Dean Henderson, then we should be very optimistic. We haven't done well in the loan market the past maybe 8 or 10 windows, but I hopefully this one will be much better. I really think that we have a good team. I'd like to give you or hear from you an explanation why the team that finished 9th in the Premier League is not performing as well, because okay, maybe we can explain it for last year, and Premier League is tough, Corona, no fans. But this year, I can't believe that Birmingham or Huddersfield have better squads than us. So I'm sure it's something that it will be fixed. I have full trust in the coach. I have full trust in our players. I think it's unfortunate the bad start we have, but logic say that things will get back to normal.
Absolutely. I was actually listening to a podcast we did with a friend of yours, Patrick Sufo, only earlier today. And he said, when we spoke to him almost 6.5 months ago, he said the one thing he worried about was confidence going into this season, because if you get into a losing run, then confidence can be hit and you can actually start poorly the following season, even though you're in effectively a weaker league. And it may be, for a lot of the players, mental, certainly rather than ability-wise on the pitch.
But I think always logic will prevail. Okay, you can have maybe a run of 3-4 games, bad luck, you don't score well, confidence. But if you have good players, they will snap out of it. Hopefully with this transfer window, 2 weeks stoppage, and with the players we're bringing, I think we'll get better. Will the 4 players be the reason, or 5 players, I don't know, will be the reason we are better? I doubt it. I think we'll just be better. Because we have good players, and look how many international players we have. So I think things will improve. It's just now we have to catch up in the table. I really dread the playoffs. So I pray that we finish first or second. With our luck historically and the playoffs, I think we're asking for many heart attacks that we don't need.
My heart cannot take playoffs. We've been involved in far too many playoffs. But what do you say to those who state that we sold our first choice goalkeeper for £24 million? We have those parachute payments, and yet all we did was bring in 4 loan signings, no long-term players.
Yeah, I think there are many things that I have to explain here. Number one, between the real estate and the players we bought, we spent around 180 million or 190 million pounds. If you add to that the Corona effect, I think we lost around 20 or 25 million from TV revenue and all the fans, the tickets last year. Add to that also salaries and everything for the past 2 years. We started this year with a deficit of 85 million pounds, and this is the number I said. And we had to cover this 85 million pound either by from partners or sell players. We knew that we have to sell some players, and and every club that goes to championship, they do the same unless they haven't bought anything. When they if you look at the Norwich City, last time they got promoted, they didn't buy anybody, so they didn't have to sell anybody when they got relegated. But other clubs, when you get relegated, you have to sell some players. I think despite of that, we managed to hold on to many of our players. And I just remember this. I think our beloved club has done many criminal transfers in the past. When I think about Calvert-Lewin, and we sold for £1 million. Every time I want to cry, I have to remember this. If I want to use it in a meeting or something, I just want to feel I want to cry. I remember Calvert-Lewin, selling Calvert-Lewin for £1 million, or selling Ramsdale for 800,000. The first time we sold him. So that's why I think, despite we were in desperate need to sell some players to cover the deficit, we managed to hold on to our best players. Like, I'll give you two examples. Gibson, we got an offer from Everton, but we refused to sell him because we think that he'll be the future of the club. Egan, early in the transfer window, we said he's not for sale. But you have to manage to pick where you can sell, of course. So I think now we are in better shape. Are we out of the woods? No, we're not out of the woods. But I think I think we've done all what we can. And if you compare us to other clubs, I think we take more risks to protect the club than any other owner. I'll give you one example. You call me, I'm in Los Angeles house. My house now is mortgaged, just because I believe in the club, I believe in the future of the club, and I think we will be in good financial shape. But we have to pick up our performance in the field.
Talking about signings, would you have preferred to bring in permanent signings to loans, or was that not possible?
I think this year was unique because we had to have. First of all, let me tell you, when the process started and Jan started to talk with potential managers, we were very clear that the team plays a certain system. It will be very difficult to change to another system. So we were very clear with that top two candidates that we only can bring 4 or 5 loans. You can bring 4 or 5 loans, or you can bring one loanees. You can use all the money and bring one big player. We were flexible. We did not have to bring 5. If the manager wanted to bring only 2, but for higher salary or higher money, he could do that. I always prefer that you buy players than to loan, because if you loan and you don't get promoted, it's a lost money. And if you look at our record in the Premier League and before Premier League, other than Dean Henderson, I struggle now to remember a great loan. Okay, maybe we had some okay loans, but did we have ever a great loan? I mean, I would rather that we spend the money to buy new players. But because I thought, and I still think, that we have good chance of getting promotion. So it wasn't bad that we get some loans because the core of our team, I think, is good. If we go to Premier League, then I think we will need to buy some players, but maybe we'll do it, not maybe, for sure we'll do it different than we did the last 2 years.
Were there any of the loan signings? Do we have anything in place to possibly buy any of them?
I think with one of them, at least, we have option to buy.
Interesting. Okay. But, from the fans' point of view, for us, it appears that, and I never understand why clubs do it, leaving it so late and actually doing deals on deadline day seems to add a huge amount of stress that might be unnecessary if you can get them done weeks before.
The disadvantage of staying late, of course, that you may have bad results. But of course, I don't think any of the fans expected that we will have this poor start. None of us, not to both of you or me. But the big advantage is the closer the window comes, the more players you find. And it's like playing a poker game. I don't play poker, but I've seen any movies about poker. The more you hold your hand and the more you have a strong heart, the better players you get with lower prices. Because some of the players we wanted to get their club before, they will not release them. But when the window is 1 day to 2 days, you really start to get the real deals. 1 month ago, most of the clubs said that we don't want to loan this, we don't want only to sell him for £15 million. But then they don't get any offers, and when the window is about to close, you get all those offers with better terms. So financially, I think it's better if you wait until the end, because you get better offers and more selection. And even our manager, we offered him, for instance, some positions in some players, and he said no, I would rather wait, because he thought that we will get better players at the close of the window, and we did. Unfortunately, I think there are a couple of players I think we should have got signed, but one of them, I'm not going to go to names, did not sign because he said that he didn't have a printer to sign. After we finished, we finished with his club. We agreed terms with him, and then his agent came 30 minutes before the window closed and said, I want to make these changes. We agreed some changes. We did not agree to some. And he said, yeah, okay, we're ready to sign now. We asked him, where is the player? He said he's at home. Does he have a printer? Yes, he has a printer. But then at the last minute, he said, I don't have a printer. I really maybe think that the player didn't want to come.
This is going to replace the famous fax machine that all Sheffield United fans remember. Now it's the printer.
Printer and fax machine. We have it all now.
Wow.
Can you tell us a bit about the financial situation and if we're in a position that we had to sell players?
Yeah, we were in a position we had to sell players, but I think we couldn't say that at the beginning of the window because it put pressures on the club. And like a club, if the clubs knew that we have to sell, then they will not offer us. Like we would have not gotten the same offer for Ramsdale, for instance. But we're trying to solve this issue permanently. We're trying as United World, not only because of Sheffield United, because we want to accelerate our growth, to bring some partners. I think I managed to in the past few weeks to get one partner, and we'll announce that in the coming weeks. And we're trying to get some more partners just to make the group more strong financially and to prepare for the worst. What if we don't get promoted this year? We have to be ready. I can just tell the fans one thing: we're never taking money out of the club to finance other clubs or to finance everything I spent in the club or about the club or around the club. So, and as I told you, we had to commit a lot of like our resources to, because when you get relegated, even if you had not invested in the first team, you have to sell. And look at how much we invested. Like 140 million, I think, was more than like Liverpool spent the last 2 years, more than the net value spent by Chelsea, because everybody says Chelsea like spent 200 or 300. I'm talking about before this window, but they have sold Hazard, they have sold Morata. They have sold many players also. I mean, I found it very interesting. Like when Guardiola talked about �𝐚𝐽𝐝, he said that we did not pay 100 million. We paid only 40 million because they sold players for 60 million. So selling some players is part of the business. The only thing that you have to be sure that, I mean, like say that for Ramsdale, because now he's not with us. You have to ask yourself a question when you get like 24 million pound offer. If we go to Premier League, can we get a Premier League goalkeeper for less than that 24? If the answer is yes, then it's a good deal. Like look at Mendy for Chelsea. They got him for 14 or 16 million. Ramsdale, I think, will be a great goalkeeper in the future. But sometimes you have to make tough decisions, and you always have to plan for the future and ask yourself, as I said, is this like if we go to Premier League, can we find a similar or good goalkeeper with less money? And if the answer is yes, then you have to pull the trigger.
Well, you've just mentioned if we get promotion. Well, if we don't get promotion, will Sheffield United be in a healthy position at the start of next season?
I think the biggest dilemma we will face if we don't get promotion is that we have maybe old roster. The question becomes: should we start to build a team for the future? Try to get younger, or push another time with the same team you have for promotion? I hope that's a question we never have to ask, because we will get promoted this year. But that's the dilemma we have, because I think we have to be honest with ourselves evaluate the team after the season. And if we think that we still have good shot of promotion, then maybe we stay with the same team. If not, then maybe you have to start to build a team, and maybe also get promotion the same year, but maybe get younger, because you always have to think not about next year. You have to think about the next 3, 4, 5 years. I'm very confident with time we will do well. We will do better. We will do good deals. We'll bring good players. And football, yeah, it's not exact science, but if you have good people, if you work hard, you have better chance of succeeding, even with Sheffield United luck.
So what do you put the disappointing results down to in the last 18 months?
You know, I love movies, and I think in movie and art, it's almost impossible to come up with something new. Like when you watch a movie, when I watch a movie, and there is you can say after the movie that I haven't seen anything like it before. It adds grades to the movie. For me, one of the best movies, Groundhog Day. I don't know if you've seen it. I feel like we're in Groundhog Day. So either this is a movie. I mean, we have to snap out of it. I don't have an explanation. Okay, because we have a good team. I'm sure it's not all luck. I'm sure it's not all. I don't know, but I honestly would be like speculating. What do you think, Nick and Hal? And what's your theory?
For me, I just feel like it's down to, like you say, a lot of different things. There's definitely a bit of Sheffield United look in there. There's obviously losing so many games last season didn't help things. The mentality going into this season, COVID, everything. There's just so many things, isn't there, that all have accumulated. Injuries, Jack O'Connell. There's so many things that have happened, because definitely losing Jack O'Connell was a massive reason why it didn't quite work last season with the overlapping centre-backs and playing a lot down the right-hand side. So, yeah, for me, just a hell of a lot of different factors.
What about you, Hal?
Well, it's hard to disagree with that. I feel like, just before the terrible pandemic that hit the globe, we were in a wonderful position, which I think would have changed the trajectory of the club for many, many years to come. We were sort of, 5th, 6th in the league, just about to go away to Newcastle. That game then doesn't happen. They actually had their number one goalkeeper out injured for that game. I feel like we would have gone in after just beating Norwich. We were on the crest of a wave. We were riding high. I feel like we would have won that game and just kicked on. We'd have finished in a position to get into Europe. We'd then have been able to attract better players. I feel like this pandemic has been the main reason. I know lots of fans don't like me saying that because it seems like an easy way out, but actually it's huge.
I think also the absence of the fans played a big part. And I would add to that maybe our roster management could have been better, because we are like overloaded in some positions and we're very thin in some other positions. And you see now, when we have one, or without going to names, when we have one or two or three big players in one position, their level go down. We don't have like capable subs like who can lift the team up. Well, we have 6 strikers, and like if you go now, I play Fantasy Premier League, as you know. Go to like Manchester United or City or Tottenham. How many forwards do they have? They have 2. Most of them have two like really good forwards, and that's it. We have 6. They are all good, but maybe we would have done well with 4 and like another 2 midfielders, creative midfielders. And look, when it comes to technical things, although I've been in football for like more than 30 years, I've worked with coaches. I learned one thing: I never take my opinion seriously. I think that should be left to the technical people. Yeah, I can say my opinion, but at the end of the day, if the manager or Jan or our technical people say something, I go with them. I don't want to overrate my football knowledge. Although as a fan, I think I've been lucky to be close, to be behind. I work with great coaches, one-to-one. Been in the dressing room, been in the when he talk about tactics. But having said that, it's not an easy business. It's not also. So I have to trust the people we have. Of course, we have to evaluate as we do every time. I don't want to talk about the past, and we're all. If we have to say anything about the Chris Wilder era, we can only say one thing: we're very thankful to him. But having said that, we have to review recruiting. I think it wasn't all Chris, although Chris had the final say. We have to evaluate how we recruit, because I think if you can fix one thing, and it will have a snowball effect and everything, it's recruiting. When you get good, this is a business we are in. If you spend money and get good players, you're in good shape. If you spend money and you miss and many players, you're in bad shape. So I think that's the if I can fix one thing, it will start with that. I'm not saying we don't have good recruitment. I'm just saying whatever it is, we have to make it better.
So this is a big question now, and I'm not expecting you to predict the whole season. But do you think that Sheffield United will gain promotion this season?
I think we will definitely be in the top 6, and I can tell you, if we go to playoffs, those are the 2 or 3 games I will not watch. I can't take it. Now, I watch every game is really it's more than before, just because of the last 18 months. I'm usually okay, I don't take a loss good, but I forget it 1 or 2 days. Now I start. It's now because of the 18 months. It's starting to affect me more. It's starting to affect even my daughters, my wife. I don't like this. It's at the end of the day, it's a game. Although I have more at stake than, because it will affect me financially. It will affect me in many other ways. But I really believe, even if we didn't bring any players, that the team will improve. I can't believe that we don't have a better roster than 20 teams at least in the championship. Don't tell me that. Like I know we lost to Birmingham. Okay, maybe West Bromwich had a good day the other day. We played with them 2 times in the Premier League. I think we beat them once. What did we do the first game? We lost once, and the game.
We lost 1-0, but we definitely shouldn't have lost that game.
22 shots on target that game. I really think that game, if we had Billy Sharp playing, we would have won that game. I think he scored the winner in the second game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that Birmingham or Huddersfield have better roster than us, and if they do, then I have to be like go to a mental hospital for the next.
I'll tell you one thing though: if we get into the playoffs and Slavisa gets us promoted, he will have the key to this city because we've lost in the playoffs so many times that. Yeah, we just want to go to Wembley and we want to enjoy our day and we want to go up. That would be
we've never gone up in the playoffs.
And then I'll be waiting for your text to tell me because I tell you I'm not going to be watching that.
Can you tell us about United World and if that will actually benefit the club, as in Sheffield United?
Yes, like look at some of the players we loaned out to play in Berchkot. I really think that also we struck gold with Chateauroux. There is a lot of good young talent. Look, we are still early in that process. We haven't perfected it yet. It will take some learning. I mean, I think, like in any other business, if you bring good people, they will not be like chemistry, like execution, will not be great from day one. But I really think it helps all clubs because now we have our eyes in all like big 3 markets. I wish, of course, benefit of hindsight, you can do everything better. I think if you tell me if we had the other 140 million pounds we spent in Sheffield United and we had that money and we could re-spend it again, I'm sure we'd have done wonders. But you can't do that. You can't cry about the past. We're in this situation. You have to deal with it, not feel sorry for yourself, and try to get out of it. I'm confident we will do it. It's just we need, because as I said, football is not exact science. Like we just brought up the first West Bromwich game. You play that game 10 times and you win it 9 out of 10. But we lost it that day 1-0. I believe our fate is in our hands, and if we execute well, we will be in good place. Yeah, of course. Like when the fans are positive, it affects the mood of players, it affects the crowd, everything. But I think we have to give the first push, and the fans will jump in.
Yeah, I'm often accused of being too positive. The term I get is happy clapper, but I don't think that's fair. And thank you. Well, I am the most positive of positive people. My glass is always half full, and I always want and believe Sheffield United will win. So what we've got now, if you don't mind, we're just going to have a few of these. Is we did say on Twitter, if we could get you on this channel, would people have any questions for you? And I've got a few here. Matt asks if Sheffield United is going to consider looking at any free agents now that the window is closed. You can still sign free agents. Are we interested, do you know, in any?
I really think if I remember Stephen had just sent me an email. I think we're about to sign one of our youngsters, and we believe that this could be our best signing this window. So I'm very excited. I don't want to say the name until it's done. But yeah, if there is a great free agent, why not? But you know what? I mean, I'm not saying. Look, I mean, you have to run the club. The money is not my money; it's the club money. Any money you spend now, if it doesn't work well, it's going to come from somewhere in the future. The coach said, and it was true, and we told all the candidates that we said that we can bring 4 or 5 players. We said that we may lose 2 players, Ramsdale and Berger, and if we lose those 2, we'll bring 1 more player. But we said we have to agree about the players. We're not going to bring numbers. Look, in the past, we have done sometimes very bad business in the last days of you can bring 4 players, just go bring any 4. No, that's bad business. I was how much abuse we would have taken if we did not sign anybody. But trust me, 3 days before the market closed, me, Jan, Steven, all the board, we were ready to go with that. If we did not find players we thought that they will help the team, we would say no. Because you save money for the club and we have a good team. You don't have to please the fans or to please the manager. You have to think about the club long term. and you have to respect that the manager may be upset because what manager? If he doesn't care, he's not good manager. If he doesn't want to improve the team, he's not a good manager. Chris Wilder had that on him. Slav has this on him. They always want to improve. They tell him that you can have 4, they want 5 or 6. But we as a board, we have to balance. And board, when I say board, the technical people in the board also. You have to look at financial and technical. And you have to ask yourself, will this player, we will spend this 1 million or 2 million or 3 million pounds. Is it worth it? Because as I said like a few minutes ago, loans, if it doesn't work, that's the money gone. It's not a player you have. And you can say that maybe he'll improve next year. If the manager will bring you 4 or 5 players and you don't think they will improve, that they are better than what you have, then you shouldn't bring them. Not to take the money and pocket it in your pocket or spend it in any other club, just to keep it in the club. Pay some debt or pay some future commitments, or maybe wait till the right opportunity. And also there is one thing I think, and I'm sorry for the long answer. Sometimes when you bring a player, you kill a young player of opportunity to play. And from my experience, you have to like Gibson or other. We have many good talents that unfortunately in the past we did not know we had. But those players, you have to be patient and give them opportunity, and they are the most efficient way and cheapest way to build a roster. Like in the NFL, and maybe Hal, you follow the NFL. They have a salary cap. They pay maybe like 3 or 4 or 5 positions, very top dollars, but then they have rookies who balance the budget. And I think that's a model Premier League also can use. You have to have like the players who come from your academy. Usually they are not paid in their first contract at least as much as like if you bring players from other club. And if you have good players coming from the academy, that's like the best thing that can happen to any club. If you have Lingard, for instance, and he's 18 years or 19, 20, 21, 22, and you don't play him, he will not be Lingard. It's finished. Like I have many top coaches in the world told me, if a player is not playing between 18 and 22, even if he's a great talent, he will not develop to be a great talent. So that's also something we have to balance. A coach like we could have sold Gibson to Everton and make good money and put the money and put the club in better financial position for next window and the windows after. But because we believe in him and we think that he had a great future, we did not want to repeat the crime we did with Calvert-Lewin. So even the offer for him was more than what we got for Calvert-Lewin. I mean, 1 million for Calvert-Lewin.
I know. We don't even want to. I don't even want to think about it again.
I can't even put him in my fantasy team because of that.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I'm the same as well with Kyle Walker, with Harry Maguire, with Che Adams,
Yes.
With David Brooks. It's just some...
I know. Please change the subject.
Yeah, change the subject, Nick. Change the subject. Say something nice.
Okay.
I was going to say, do you see the youngsters getting a running? Because I've noticed Tyler Smith's been sold on, and Regan Slater, there was rumours that he was going to follow and go to Hull as well. Do we think that we're going to see some of the youngsters playing this season?
Look at our last 2 Carabao Cups games. I loved what the coach did. I think we played young talent, and of course, also you have to introduce them at the right time. When the team is losing, it's not good that you introduce young talent because then the pressure will be on them. They may lose confidence. You have to pick your spots. But I'm really confident that now we work as like it's very important when you make decisions that you know what you have coming. And now I think we're in a better position than last windows, identifying these talents and know what we have. We still haven't perfected it yet. I think we have a lot of work to do. We're evaluating behind the scenes what we have. It will take time. It will take 1 to 2 years to be where we want when it comes to recruitment and evaluating the talent we have. Relegation has made it difficult, but eventually we will get it fixed. I have no doubt about that.
Nathan also says, what happened to the planned work on the stadium?
Yeah, I think, of course, I think from what I understand, and this is the only area I'm not very involved in. I'm not in the board. I'm the owner, but we have a board. But I believe we have two type of things that we want to fix. Things that can be fixed in short term, and it's low budget. I think between £1 million or something, and that we will try to do as soon as we can. I think international breaks, maybe winter break, things that if you have to do and it takes time, and things that will cost more, and that we will do in the next off season, I hope.
Would that include the training ground?
Yeah, training ground. I think I have to get an update from Stephen, but that as I go with the two. We have I think short-term plan with like low budget, £1 million budget, and another one with maybe 3 or 4 million. I think we'll start the £1 million. I really don't do the details, but I will ask Stephen, and maybe next time we chat, I'll be more specific. I don't like just to give any answers because
of course
that's not the area like I'm really focusing in.
Well, actually, that leads us on quite nicely to what Ewan has asked, which is, what is your style of management when operating a business? It's apparent that you delegate with some areas, but would you ever consider being even more hands-on?
No, I believe that you bring good people, you motivate them, you monitor them, you are close, you don't take your eye off the ball, but you have to let them work, and you have to work in the chemistry between them. You have to work. You have to solve problems when there are problems. I believe you surround yourself with people smarter than yourself, or have better experience in some areas, and you don't have. I can tell you, I'm blessed that I don't have a big ego. I don't have to. I'm confident of myself, but I know that I don't know everything, and I don't have a big ego. I don't hold grudges. I can work with people who I don't like. I can work with people who may to say something bad about me, or I'm not oh my God, this manager said this thing, I'm gonna now fire him, or find the right way to pick the right spot to get rid of him. All I think about is I want the team to be better, because it makes my investment better, because at the end of the day we all benefit. So I don't look at small stuff, or he said this, the other guy said that. And I think in the long run, if you're consistent, if you don't lie to the fans, people will know you. You can't please everybody every day. What's important is after 4, 5, 6 years, people know that you're consistent. You do what you mean. You don't lie. You don't play like a hero, or say give promises you don't make. You can't fulfill. Yeah, of course you will do mistakes. I have to also give I get when I was the president of Al Hilal, or the minister of sports in Saudi, I never use my Twitter to interact with the fans, to answer questions, because if you answer one, then you have to answer 1,000, and you don't know who you are talking to. So sometimes on Instagram I get many questions, and I really I have a habit. I really feel bad when I don't respond to somebody who asks me a question. Some people, you open their WhatsApp and you have 500 unread messages. For me, I cannot sleep if I read every message and respond to every message. And I have the blue things. I don't even hide, have the gray, so people know that if I read the message or not. But sometimes if the questions about transfers, you cannot answer, because will we bring some players in? So I want them to I want to apologize to fans who ask me questions. I can't answer questions, and sometimes also they want special answer. Of course, when you get 500 questions, sometimes you have to copy and paste. You can't have a new answer to every fan. I just want them to know that we're working hard always to make the team better. That we've been experienced enough in this industry not to panic when the fans are all against you or curse at you. It doesn't affect me if they if 1,000 curse at me. Yeah, of course, I'd rather that they're respectful. But if not, yeah, I may get upset for 1 minute, 2 minutes, but it's not going to affect my decisions. It's not going to affect how I think, how I perform. But and this part of the industry, when you lose, everybody's come at the owner, open your checkbox, the typical. But it's not about that. But this is part of the business. It's come with the territory, as they say.
Absolutely. Nick, do you have any final questions?
No. Just want to thank you for coming on. We really, really appreciate you coming on and talking to us and addressing the fans, really, and answering all our questions and all their questions.
I'm really, as I said, I don't say that. I watch your, your YouTubes whenever I can, and when I'm not in a bad mood. But I watch, like I can't watch one after we just lost a game. I just want to get away. But
Yeah.
I watch you. I respect you. I like how you're always balanced. Your knowledge about football, about clubs, about Sheffield. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate all our fans. I think I always think of what Pochettino said when they asked him what is the toughest player you played. He said Bramall Lane. I love our fans. I love their passion. I want them to be more positive, because when they are negative, it affects us sometimes. So be optimistic. Believe in the team. We had some worse starts before. And the solution for everything is not like open your checkbook or buy more players. Sometimes you have to work with what you have. But the ultimate goal is to make the team successful. Because if we don't, then it's a failure for me, for my reputation, for my money, for the investment. I'm committed to the team. I've never taken money out of the team, and I accept this is a risky business. I want to do it well. At the end of the day, I want to make money. But if you tell me like you make like £10 million and the team is losing, or you make £2 million and the team is great success, I would rather have big success, because joy doesn't come only from money. You mentioned the Norwich City game. I was in the stadium that game 1-0. It was really one happy day, like to be in the stadium to win 1-0. Who scored? Sharp scored. I think it was.
Of course. Who else?
Who else?
Yeah, Lundstrom cross. Billy scored 1-0.
Yes, Billy scored. I think those. How can you value that? That's like bigger than any money. I really enjoyed talking to you. And thank you for all our fans.
Your Highness, we really appreciate it. I'm glad you said we're balanced. We have no agenda. We will listen to everyone and all opinions, and we're here for the fans. And thank you for taking the time, as Nick quite rightly said, to speak to the supporters. Best of luck with the rest of the season.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.